Well, you guys, I'm doing another video. This is about the transition of Brother Knowledge. This day is actually very significant because this is March 13th, 2015, when I was recording the video, and later on that day, I found my son in the crib, dead. So this is the cry for help at this point in time, and how I was asking for help, but nobody was listening. But it changed my life forever, and this is the transition, so I just want to show you.
Well, where do I start?
Let me know how the sound quality is.
First off, I've been reaching out to everyone that I possibly can, and nothing's been really getting resolved. My marriage was in shambles because of me and my infidelity in the beginning. I've been faithful to my wife ever since then, since after that happened, and I confessed everything to her. It's been hard on us, just the process of moving forward, not with just that, us having the people that we love put us down or not accept our marriage, just talking down on it and saying whatever comes to their mind just to hurt my spouse or my wife's, some of her family saying whatever they want to hurt her spouse. And it's just been a very, very stressful situation. On top of that, just being behind on all bills, rent, car notes, just everything. And, having just one income coming in and just pushing myself every day to work harder and harder, but it's been getting tough. And, sometimes I've been feeling like just giving up, but I know I can't do that. Having 4 kids, one which is a disabled daughter, the other is a 2-year-old son who's fine, just a handful at times, but he's a wonderful kid. And then having twins on December 1st, 2014, not too long ago, it's been very stressful. Not just on me, but on my wife. I can tell, with her, she feels like she's not accepted from other people. She's feel like, to me, beating a dead horse, even on my side of the family. It's like beating a dead horse. What do you tell them? How do you keep on telling them about, not to talk to my wife this way, or talk about my wife this way, or her not to talk about my husband this way, and say things that are not true. And I don't know, man, it just hurts, and just the struggle. Then finding out today or yesterday that we might be evicted in 5 days and really have nowhere to go. I mean, there's not a lot of help out there for us. My wife, she can't work right now because of a disability. She has multiple sclerosis, and that came about when she was pregnant with the twins. And she first had a minor stroke, then she found out she has MS. From then on, she has to go to rehab. She didn't want to do rehab. She wanted to be home. I wanted to be home too, but I wanted to be healthy and be at home. But she had to do rehab for about a month. Learn those functions in her hands and in her feet, just all over again, How do you tell someone that knew how to walk and function and everything that now there's something wrong with them, and you have to be careful what you do so you don't have what we call an episode. And then, on top of that, just striving to be a better dad, a better husband, a better man of God for one. And, man, it's just crazy, think about everything of me being the difference in my family, the head of the household, and being raised in a family where there was only just your mom and your twin brother and your sister, and just seeing how strong she was and what she wanted to do for us, how hard she wanted to work. And then growing up and being that difference, you know, getting married, not just because of all of that, but because I wanted to. I wanted to have a family, something I didn't have when I was young. So I strive for that. Yes, I made my mistakes in my family, and I don't plan on doing any other mistakes. You know, just keep her happy, and that keeps me happy and my children. You know, and just being a better dad than my dad was. You know, not being involved in my life still to this day. You know, he's not as involved as he should. Me being 29 years old, still, you know, talking to my wife, and it's a harsh subject, and I'll shed tears, you know, I'll cry, but I try to put up this hard exterior of a person that has it all together, and I don't, and I don't really understand it, you know, because growing up with my mom, it was like it was always something missing, and then now, you know, me getting married and my mom, to me, she hates my wife. She says she doesn't, but we just had a spat maybe a week and a half ago, and I basically told her, there's no more disrespect to my wife. You can't respect my wife, then you don't respect me, because we're a unit, we're one. You know, when you talk about her, you talk about me, and vice versa, you know. So I basically told her that it'd be a while before I see her again, until she can apologize for everything she put my wife through, and she won't be able to see her grandkids. You know, I had to put that out there because I'm the son. You know, I'm a husband to my wife. I'm a father to my kids. I'm there 24/7, even when I'm at work. You know, my family and everything is always on my mind. I strive to be better than what I saw coming up. And now it just feels like everything is going out the window. I'm trying not to cry right now because it feels like it doesn't do nothing for me. I mean, it doesn't relieve a lot of stress. And just to look at my family on a day-to-day basis, and only one knows we're struggling is my wife and I. But my kids, I mean, they don't deserve this at all. My daughter Mia just turned 5 years old, and
How's the sound quality?
doesn't have all the functions to her body that she should. When I say functions, I mean she can't just pick up and start walking. She can't just start talking like how I'm talking right now. You know, and it's hard work. You know, I've been in Mia's life since Mia was 1.5, maybe 2 years old. And I'm everything that she knows as a father, as a dad. And I just don't want to fail them, you know. I don't want to fail my wife, my children, and God most of all. And right now, it's weighing on me, you know. Working as hard as I do to try to get everything to give them everything they want, keep them happy, and be happy in our living, in our lives, you know, in our financial coming home. It's stressful. I mean, we've been through everything. When I say we, me and my wife, we've been through everything that a couple could probably divorce from. But divorce is it's not in our heads. Even though all we've been through is not in our heads. We've had our spats, but we know that we love each other unconditionally, and that we are fighting every day, not against each other, but for each other, for acceptance, you know. She knows that I'm hurting because I'm a family man, and I'm loud, can be a soft-spoken person when stuff hits the fan, you know. I'm always this person that's energetic, and you can just like, oh man, he's just fun to be around. But if you knew everything about me and what I'm going through, you'd be like, man, it takes a real strong, tough dude to do all of that. Or not dude, a man to do all of that. And then with my wife, you know, finding out who her dad is after her biological dad is after 25 years, and then still being told today, to this day, that it's a lie, it's not the truth, you need to get another one, you know, we don't believe it, from the people that she loves, you know. And her dad, whom she did know as her dad, the man she did know as her dad, which is still her dad to this day, just kind of abandoned her, you know. And then it's like we go to see everyone, not a lot of people come to see us, you know, our family-wise. We have to go and see them. They won't come to us. Some don't want to come to us because of me. They say I'm a bad person, and they just don't want me around. And then on my side, well, that was my wife's side, and then on my side, they're not welcome over here now because of how they feel, how I found out how they really feel. My sister told me my mom didn't even want me to marry my wife, didn't want me to have kids with her. And I still don't know why to this day. You know, but before we even got married, I told my family that, you know, it was her that I was going to marry and everything. And a lot of them asked the question, why her? Why her? She has a disabled child. I mean, why not her? Not for a disabled child. Do you know that I've been fighting for this woman since we were in grade school. I've been wanting to be with her. And now that I got her, you know, in the beginning I didn't know how to treat her, but I love her. And it's just, oh my gosh, it's like it's a constant battle against your own family members. Every day for both of us. And I've reached out to so many people. I reached out to organizations. You know, I watched like this show called the Yana Van Zant Fix My Life. I've reached out to her. I reached out to Oprah. I reached out to Steve Harvey. I reached out to Ellen. And I still haven't gotten anything. I even reached out to Dr. Jen as far as the couples therapy. But she just does celebrities. I think that they should start doing like just average Joe people. I know people look up to the celebrities, and you know, a lot of them to me are put on a pedestal, but they're human just like everyone else. Nobody is just perfect. Nobody is greater than anyone else. Everyone needs help, but it's like it's always the stars that you see first. And it takes a while before you see someone that's not a star, someone that's not rich and famous. But I'm just here to tell my story. I got a whole lot more to go, but it's an emotional roller coaster to even be telling you guys all of this stuff. But I hope and pray that this gets in the hands of the right people, because I'm just calling out for help in any form or fashion. Not just for me, but for my family. And for others like me. There are a lot of people out there, maybe, you know, I could inspire others to tell something, tell their story, reach out for help. I used to think, you know, to do it all on your own was the best way, but sometimes you just have to ask for help. Because if you don't, no one will ever know that you needed that. Suicide isn't the answer. going to robbing a bank isn't the answer, or doing anything that's any wrongdoing is not the answer. So just ask for help and just walk by faith and not by sight, and just have faith enough to know that one day everything will be all right. But I'm gonna let you guys go. Like I said, I hope and pray that this gets in the right hands of the right people, because it needs to be out there. Thank you.
Man,
Well,
so
where do I start?
I'm gonna give y'all a tidbit on that. Okay, so that day was actually the day when my son had passed away. Our son had passed away. I didn't know that he had passed away. I didn't find him in the crib, but I still had the video, and I had did that video that day, which was a Sunday. We had, came home from church, and I had told my wife at the time, which is now my ex-wife, I had told her, like, she could go lay down and rest, and I was gonna take care of the kids, which was Mia, LJ, Lamel Jr., and Jeremiah and Josiah, or Josiah and Jeremiah. And so, we fed the kids together. Jeremiah, he ate enough, so he was ready to go to sleep. Mia and LJ was already tired, so they went down for sleep. And Josiah, he was up with us for a little bit longer because, he was our little chunky baby. He wanted to eat a little bit more, so he was up a little bit longer. And so she went in the room and she laid down. I still was feeding Joe. Then I put him in the bed. I put him in the crib right along with his twin brother, Jeremiah. And, I started cleaning up the house, getting food ready, just doing all the work that I could to give her some time to rest. And, I sat down after a while because I had been cleaning up and I was tired. So I needed to sit down, and I just started doing the video, just a cry for help, because I asked family and friends, but it was hard to ask them when they didn't even support the marriage. It was hard to ask for help, from people that you looked up to and you loved at the time, because everybody had their own stuff that they was going through. So, I was trying to reach out to the celebrities that said that they would help out people, but I just saw that they were just helping out, other celebrities. That's all they was doing. So the video, it was in my phone for a while. I went back and looked at it over the years. A lot of times I went back over the years. But I'm saying all that to say this, man, it's important that you reach out if you need help, mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, going and doing something that can be detrimental to your health or someone else's, taking somebody else's life, or if not taking your own, it's not the way out, man. It's not the way that we should cry out for help any longer. Nobody wants to get locked up. Nobody wants to go to jail, go to prison. Nobody wants that. Our mothers don't want that for us, and we shouldn't want that for us. So for the men, I tell y'all, man, it's important for us to reach out, for the people as a whole, to reach out when you need help, when you got some mental issues going on. I know they call it mental illness, and it is that. But a lot of the stuff we bring on ourselves because we don't ever ask for help. We don't ever seek out counsel and talk with anyone. We keep all that stuff bottled inside, especially in the black families. Now, I'm not picking on anybody. I'm just telling you, especially in the black families, we got to get out of that mindset that what happens in this house stays in this house. The things that happen, we have to talk about those things. We got to let those things go. Otherwise, they're going to just hinder us. They're going to block us. And of course, I tell you, the first thing to do, man, is to forgive. I had to forgive myself for a lot of stuff. A lot of things that I did because I was taught it. A lot of things happened to me because of my disobedience. And I couldn't blame nobody. I couldn't blame no one. All I could do was blame myself, because instead of listening to moms, and all the adults that have been in my life, the teachers and the counselors and things like that, in school, not necessarily having a doctorate, but everybody's a teacher in some kind of way. And I know at the time, like my grandfather, my grandmother, all of my family, they was always telling me that I needed to do right or I end up locked up dead or in jail, you know. And I never really felt right in my head because there was a lot of things that happened to me when I was young that I never talked about. And I took my anger and frustration out on my family. And, you know, as I got older, I realized that it wasn't them that I was mad at. I was really mad at myself because I never spoke up. So, you know, when I finally got into counseling, when I finally went to court-appointed classes and I had to tell my story, I told the fullness of it. I told the truth. I told what I did, when I did it, why I did it. And I just had to say, man, you know what? I'm sorry. You know, I was being led by something else. I was being led by something else that I didn't know that I was battling with. So now I just want to help people. You know, I want to help people the way that I was asking for help. I want to help people. And, you know, that's my story, man. So that story is actually from March 13th, 2015. That was the same day that our son passed away. Hey, man, if this video blessed you, if it helped you in any kind of way, you want to talk about anything, hey, feel free to reach out. I'm at YouTube at Knowledge the Raven 2468. That's Knowledge DARAVEN 2468. You can reach me on TikTok at Brother Knowledge 2468. You can reach me on Bigo at Safe Voltage Knowledge. You can reach me on Twitter at Knowledge 2468. You can reach me on IGTV at Brother Knowledge. You can reach me on my podcast if you ever want to talk about it and you want to get on there and have a discussion. It could be disclosed. You have your own alias, whatever name you want to use. I'm on there also as Brother Knowledge, man. I love y'all. Blessings to y'all. Knowledge.